What's up? What's up? It's Saturday. It's the Sabbath. The sun is out. That was like 2 days the sun didn't come out. Seasonal depression is a real thing, people. So, thought I'd hop on here real quick. Because you know me, I'm on the rediscovery of self. Want to do a quick little something because we're supposed to be social distancing, right? I sit down and start recording, and then all of a sudden they start walking by me. Just nosy, want to know what I'm doing. Anyway, I am working on myself and really wanting to know what the process to healing is. And everybody got a self-care, self-talk, life coach, blah, blah, blah. I've yet to identify with a 34-year-old single mom that has made a name for herself. Everybody's old or older and if they are successful, and I do know them, they don't live here in Springfield. So I don't have like that, what I feel is that living example that I aspire to be. I know a couple of lovely women that are in the same boat or living a lie, but I don't know anything in the middle. Anyway, so the whole point is really the truth seeking, the truth telling. I think the first step in all of this chaos and pandemic is going to be identifying the traumas, the triggers, and the faults. If we don't know where we come from, if we don't know what we've already endured, you don't know where you're headed. Marcus Garvey quoted that, a tree without roots, a mind without knowledge is like a tree without roots, I believe is the quote. You don't know your roots. You don't know the history of some shit. So then we repeat it and history repeats itself because nobody goes to look at what's been done, right? That's where we are. And I can speak on all aspects of my life. That's the problem. Got a lot of people with authority or some kind of power over the subject, but ain't really doing nothing. So I started looking at, what do I have control over? At this point, myself. And that's it. How do I manage myself? How do I deal with my emotional, my triggers? I've identified a few. I've identified where I can't, certain things I just can't. I can no longer endure. And for my own emotional safety, need to not. So, also, recognizing where accountability is a must. And so where I want to blame all these bad people for the things they've done, I have to take responsibility for either ignoring whatever red flags or signs or whatever it was that was kind of giving me that heads up, like, yeah, this is shady, this isn't right, this isn't good for you, this isn't whatever, and you made the choice to go against that. That's a yo bad. So if as far as like relationships go and healing from it, we want to be so mad at the other party and blame them, but it is an accountability piece that goes to both parties involved because it takes two to tango. So in my journey, I've learned the provoker is the messenger. The message will repeat until the lesson is received. Period. If you do not catch the lesson, it's just going to keep coming at you until that aha light bulb moment happens. It's going to continue. And so I guess for me, I recognize I didn't know myself. I didn't have rules or real rules I had in place for myself. And then I hadn't really identified what was my purpose, self-value, worth, and just knowing what my energy was. So protecting your energy and setting boundaries for yourself and understanding everything isn't worth engaging. Being right all the time is not worth the energy sometimes either. I would literally learn this lesson last year with a fallout with a family member. So it's like literally just understanding I have to set boundaries because there's triggers. And don't set yourself up for failure. If you know you are going to react away, don't set yourself up for that. and say no. Whereas I didn't like telling people no. I didn't like saying no. I want to always help. I want to be helpful. I want to be useful. And I had a tendency to overextend myself and commit myself to things that I just really didn't have energy for, because I'm already at capacity. But I would continue to do things that would overload me. And now I'm in this place. And when I said it for the first time a couple of weeks back, my cup is empty. Tears just dropped. And I didn't know where it really came from or anything, but it was like the statement was so true. The cup feels empty. Like I went for a sip of some positivity and I have nothing left. I've given it to everybody else, seeking validation, trying to fix everybody else's problems, really not paying attention to my own self-care, and just really no boundaries. And so all these years I've been reacting to everything versus responding. And it's taken a lot of energy out of me. And so now I'm only 34, but I feel like I'm older. The energy I've exerted already on just bullshit, if I could just be honest. I look back on the people specifically. I spent a lot of energy trying to prove something trying to prove I'm worthy, trying to prove I'm good enough. And I look back on it, and that should have never been the agenda. You're good enough. And if whoever you're dealing with doesn't feel the same, then that just means you need to part ways. But I had it in me for so long that I just needed to try harder. Well, I'll do this time. And once I realized I would never receive this particular person, I'll never receive validation from, or it could very well be on their deathbed type before I ever, it's you got to know you the shit without hearing it. Period. Nobody else tell you. At the end of the day, you got to know you the bomb. Your gift is, you're talented at. You know how to do. You do whatever it is you do. You got to own it and know that you're good at it. And if it brings you a peace or a satisfaction, that's your gift. And you're supposed to be a service to your fellow man. So get that gift out here. But we so caught up on this selfish, self-serving agenda that it is some of the scariest shit. And people are really oblivious to what I feel like has been shoved down my throat all my life. All of my adolescence, the Bible, Book of Revelations, all of this has been rammed down my throat. So now that it's unfolding in front of our eyes, it's like, oh yeah, we did. They taught this shit when I was like 7 and 8. I remember talking about this stuff. But everybody's shocked and shook and in denial, and really, I'm just kind of like on with it already. I really am over it. The lying and pretending like everything is okay and gonna be okay. I don't really know if it is or isn't. I just know I'm not scared. All I want is my son to be with me. If I can have others, that's a blessing. But more than anything, I just want to be able to protect my son and provide for my son and still give him a fighting chance. The system can't have mine. And I stand by that, and I mean that. So I'm looking to pass down a legacy. I'm looking to heal mine so he can grow up and have that healthy family unit, marry and have his own children and provide and not be a perfect man, but be a man and just be the best person he can be. I don't want to fill him up with any falsehoods, indoctrinated dogma, or any of this bull that like I'm literally having to shed these layers of falsehoods that everybody has dumped on me. I don't want that for my child. So I've identified where most of us are injured out here emotionally. personality flaws and disorders and narcissistic, egotistical, just evil shit that I didn't even know was real. Like, I thought was just movies, but like, no. They base the movies off of somewhere, right? This is life. These are people that really have these spirits of evil and just demonic shit and don't know how to cope, never learn how to heal. As a matter of fact, learn to cope by destroying others. And then you fall in love with a whole imagined, made up fairy tale. And so you're left feeling, questioning everything. And so now I'm needing the steps to, how do I rebuild it? Because I know I can't give up. I know I have an 11-year-old that's watching every move. So what are the steps to get OB back? Admitting. Identifying the flaws. Understanding the provoker is the messenger. And lessons versus losses. It's all about perspective. I do my best not to just assume it's a loss. Like I said before, I really try to focus on, did I learn something? Can I do something better for next time? How do I avoid this going forward? The self-care. Creating peace and balance is every day more and more urgent because we're in such a jacked up situation with this coronavirus pandemic and social distancing, and you can't even do what you normally, your feel goods to make you feel better and get you out your slump. You can't even do it right now. So I think we're having to get back to the basics of just being able to go outside and sit in the park, which I'm doing right now. Prayer, meditation, dieting. What you eat is that's affecting your mind and your body. Sluggish, slow, you eating junk food, processed stuff, soda. You're not drinking water. You're not getting no vitamin C, vitamin D. Yeah, no wonder you don't feel good. Then the company you keep. Who's your social circle? Who do you vibe with regular? Is it a positive energy or a negative energy? Is it someone always speaking some just drama, always chaos, always just something going on? Or are you connecting with people that are working on projects, even if that's just at home? They doing do-it-yourself garden. It's it's spring, everybody's out gardening, getting their yards together. Just something positive. Who are you keeping company with? If it's somebody that's lazy and ain't doing shit with their time, not interested, and they just sitting and looking at a video game or whatever frivolous activity, that's it. The proof is in the pudding. So it's identifying your positive social supports and staying consistent with your plan, your scheduling. If you planned out that day, stick to it and start implementing positive things to keep you on track and keep those people in your life that are going to be making you accountable for shit you say you're going to do. So I'm not really into people that just sugarcoat and just want to say what I want to hear type thing. Give me the truth. And then the last piece is letting go. And I don't have the answers to that. I just know getting those first few steps in line, admitting the problem, admitting it is a problem and it's not healthy for you, knowing yourself, knowing your weak points, and creating boundaries for those. If you are quick to jump in head first, then you have to go slow. You have to make an effort in every encounter and whatnot, that you're taking slow steps and not jumping in head first. Boundaries. And then just the self-care piece, whatever that looks like. If that's more exercise or more dieting or praying more or being outside more or being more active, wherever you are needing to just make a change, that's it. And letting go, I figure, comes after that. And as my journey progresses, I'll be able to talk about more of the letting go piece. But I haven't let go of a few things in my own journey, so I can't really speak on that piece. I'm just working on that self-care and not stepping in front of the oncoming traffic type thing. Not that I'm suicidal, but that this shit is intense. And that you have moments of just, you can't believe this is your life. So I hope this is helpful for someone. It's helpful for me to be able to talk. Someone referred to me as a lyricist, and I smiled at that because I never saw myself as one. So maybe. And I'll just continue on working on that, and how do I build on that? So, well, that is today's little soapbox. This your girl O'Brien, aka OB, aka O, also known as the Jill of most trades. So just surviving the day, really doing my best to be positive, out here getting this vitamin D. Gonna have my little social supports today, see my girls, and just keep it pushing. All right, y'all, take it easy. One day at a time. That's all we can do. One day at a time. This is the Sabbath. Observe the Sabbath. Take a moment, pray, be grateful, humble the spirit. It could be worse. There is someone with a worse situation, so I have to remind myself that it could be worse. Be grateful, guys. Talk to you soon.